Welcome to What's the Buzz, the podcast that spotlights local business leaders, bold ideas, and the heartbeat of the South Shore. Produced by Marshfield Community Media and recorded at South Shore Hive, each episode features authentic conversations that inspire, inform, and energize. Whether you're starting out, scaling up, or giving back, this is where connection meets community. Buzz by and see what's happening. This episode of What's the Buzz is brought to you by Cote Law Group, trusted legal counsel for today's business leaders. From startup formation to contracts and corporate guidance, they're here to help your business thrive. Okay. Hi, everybody. Valerie McSorely here with another episode of What's the Buzz. And today we are with someone incredibly buzzworthy. Ben Cote's here in studio, and he is the owner of Cote Law Group. Welcome, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. You're very buzzworthy. We just had a fine time at your 1-year celebration. Congratulations on your first year in business.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was awesome. You had the place packed. Very memorable balloon arch.
Yeah, I have to admit, I was skeptical of the balloon arch. My wife had suggested it, and I really didn't understand what it was. I was thinking like kid's birthday party, but it was actually very professional and came out really nice.
It looked lovely. So your first year in business for yourself, what were the highs, lows, in-betweens? What can you tell me?
The highs were, or the high for me was realizing that I was able to swing it in terms of business development. So I think it's one of those things, you either have it or you don't. And I had a pretty good idea that I could handle generating business, developing new relationships, bringing business in through the door. But I was able to do, and confirming that was probably the high for me. And then just kind of looking back from where we've started, which was a couple offices, just some staplers off Amazon to where we are today is pretty amazing. It's all a blur, but it feels like we're running a real business, as funny as that sounds. Because when you start, you're just it's like building an airplane on the runway.
Yep. It's like, it's jumping out of the aircraft and building it on the way down with your parachute and a couple of staplers from Amazon, as you say. Yeah. So where's the business now versus where it was a year ago? What does the growth look like?
Yeah, so we started with myself, 2 paralegals, so Jenny and Brianna. They're amazing. So they help with everything from bookkeeping to HR, but obviously they do substantive legal work as well. And then we added Becky Lewis, who's a real estate attorney. She does real estate full time. She does an amazing job, has decades of experience, and her clients love working with her. And we also have Samantha Ribeiro. She's an associate. She works on probate, estate planning primarily, does real estate as well. And then we have Lori Keeler, who's in our office as well, and she does estate planning with me. And then I do a lot of estate planning and commercial real estate. Those are kind of the 2 areas I focus on.
Great. So I know you have a number of different practice principles within your practice. So let's talk a little bit about the real estate practice, because right now, great time for people moving in the summer. People like to move in the summer before the school year starts, want to get ahead of it. So when you're talking about residential real estate work, what type of advice do you give to people who are looking for an attorney for their closing?
Yeah, so specifically when looking for an attorney, I think it's somebody that works well with the team that you're assembling. So there's really no one person that can bring you all the way across the finish line. So the person that's the best real estate agent is probably not the attorney that's going to close the loan, is probably not the lender that's going to provide financing. So finding that group that has synergy, that's worked together, that really knows how to work in a complementary way, where we get to that finish line in the least amount of stress on time for as little money as possible. And so I think it's really spending the time to talk to people and understand who assembles that best team.
It's a lot. You have to have a lot of trust in that team. There's a lot of anxiety around the transaction. There's a lot of moving parts. It can be very complicated. So you need to have really good people around you on that team to make the transaction as smooth and painless as possible. So what are some of the pitfalls? What are some red flags when people are looking for purchasing a home? Yeah,
so I think people start with the end without thinking about all the ends. So you might open your phone, go to Zillow, go to Redfin, and start looking at your dream home. What kind of homes look good to you? But I think it really starts even further back than that. So we're really thinking about budgeting. So what type of home can you afford? Maybe thinking about school systems, thinking about geography for commuting, access to highways, public transportation. But I think even a step that people are often overlooking, something I wish I did when I bought my first home, is looking at the possibility of owning a 2-family or 3-family residence and almost starting a business at the same time that you're buying your first house. And the reason why people sometimes have that ability or have that opportunity early in their life is they don't yet have kids that they need to worry about school systems and kind of where everyone's going to fit. But I'll tell you about my brother-in-law and sister-in-law. They own a 2-family home in New Jersey. They rent out the upstairs. They're buying another home that's going to be a multifamily. And that first multifamily that they purchased and are now buying another, that by itself is going to pay for the entire mortgage for their second house.
Wow.
So having that business built into your real estate portfolio can really increase the amount that you can afford, but also make it so you can afford to do other things. You can travel, save for retirement. So real estate's often our biggest investment. So I think we should take some time to think about what is our overall goal rather than which house looks the best and has the best street curb appeal.
That's a great strategy if you're lucky enough to be able to afford that going in on your first one. So that's a lot. And one thing I know when I was looking at our first house that I felt really helped guide me was not to be emotional about it, that it's not your house until they put the key in your hand at the closing. So not to get too attached and too crazy. And I know people start making crazy offers and going above asking and these bidding wars, and just to know that the right house is there for you and it's not yours until you get through that transaction, because anything can happen until you go on record.
Right. And kind of what I was talking about before fits with this as well, because if we say, okay, this probably isn't the house we're going to be in forever.
Yes.
We're thinking ahead, when am I going to sell this? Maybe 7-10 years from now? You don't need to be in the most ideal location now. You need to be in the most ideal location in 7 to 10 years when you're looking to sell and move into that next home. And so looking for up and coming neighborhoods, looking for places outside of the most expensive geographies. If this is your first home, maybe we're not as concerned about school systems because you don't have young kids. You can find that diamond in the rough or the better bargain so you can afford that first home.
Yes. Excellent advice. Now, what about commercial? Because I know you do commercial real estate too.
Yeah, commercial real estate is great. So I find it really rewarding because I get to work with business owners in developing their goals and kind of living their dreams with them. It's really kind of fun. And so we'll start with anything from vacant piece of land, and we're going to help them get all the entitlements they need to build their perfect building for their business, all the way to we're doing investment properties for residential real estate. Maybe we've done strip malls, we've done office buildings. It's a lot of variety, and it's really rewarding.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what kind of projects? Marshfield's blowing up, right? I mean, I drive down 139 and everywhere I look, there's either land that's being cleared or there's new building going up and things are just popping up like crazy. So are you working with developers also? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, so we do work with developers. The interesting thing is we have a huge housing shortage.
Yes.
So there's a lot of pressure to develop more stock. And so that pushes prices higher. So it's still attractive, even in a rate environment where it might be a little higher than it was a few years ago. But I'm seeing fewer businesses sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to come back. They're saying, I'm not going to put my life on hold and wait for the Fed to decide what the rates are going to be. I'm going to go forward with projects that make sense now. And if the rate goes down, even better. So to answer your question, we're working with a lot of developers, but a lot of people that have that mom and pop type business that are looking to graduate to that next level. Maybe they've been leasing for a while and they're ready to kind of start that next chapter where they become the landlord and they're in charge of their own destiny.
It's really exciting to do that. So what advice do you have for business owners looking? Like how do they get started? Is it important that they get a relationship going with a law professional like you before they even get down this road?
Yeah, so I'm biased. I think that's probably a good place to start because we can be something of a quarterback to kind of go through some of this stuff. But I think there's other professionals that you really should consider building a team around. So your banking relationship is critically important. Understanding what you're able to afford, understanding the strength of your existing business and its ability to actually get financing, working with a great real estate broker or salesperson is critically important so they can help present those ideas to you. And in the commercial context, especially if there's any redevelopment or build out, having access to architects, having access to contractors, really that team that's going to be able to bring this to reality, hugely important. So commercial real estate has a lot more moving pieces, but it also means that we can do a lot of cool stuff. And so we can build projects and we can develop things that are different than, and it's not that buying a house isn't exciting, because it is, but you can do things that are a little bit different. We can build that restaurant that's tailored to exactly what the concept is and is going to become a staple of the neighborhood for the next 30 or 40 years.
Well, I know you can be super creative, and I know you have a lot of energy. You're a wealth of knowledge for people that get to work with you. How can people find you?
Yeah, so the best way to find us is to go to our website, which is cote-law.com. We offer free consultations, and I talk to anyone and everyone from all walks of life. And if it's something we don't handle, we point you in the direction of the person that does.
Awesome.
So we're always trying to make connections and really grow that team, because I think at the end of the day, it's very rare to find one person or one company that can do everything. And so having that ability to bring a bunch of people together, I think, is the secret sauce that makes us great.
Absolutely. Relationships are everything. It's really important to have a tried and trusted team around you. You don't want to do a Google search for some of these professionals. You want to have good relationships, good experiences, good testimonials to work off of. And Ben, thanks so much for buzzing by.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks. So thanks, everybody. Join us again for another episode of What's the Buzz on the South Shore. Bye-bye. This episode of What's the Buzz has been brought to you by Cote Law Group. We thank you for your generous support. When it comes to wills, trusts, and estate planning, they're the team you can trust.